Our next visionary type speaker is going to be Mr. Shi Yaohong, who's the president of Huawei in the Middle East. I'd like to invite you up here right now, and please give a warm welcome to Shi Yaohong.
Thank you so much. Just call me Shi.
Okay.
Thanks so much, Tony, for the invitation. And ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. And I think just taking this opportunity to really first to convey my gratitude. I'm going to touch upon the first topic, which is what happened in the past. Actually, as His Excellency Mr. Ahmed Jufar has mentioned, Huawei, Middle East is a very special region for Huawei. We were able to launch the first 3G with Etisalat together in end of 2003, and that's also our global first 3G. That was time that nobody is ready, assuming a Chinese company was able to provide the latest technology. And 10 years has passed. To some extent, now we are stepping in the leader position in this industry. That's why, again, we choose Etisalat together with us to going to launch the first 5G should be by the end of 2017, which is going to, again, be the first on the global perspective, not only the regional level. But today, what I want to talk a little bit is about from 2004 to 2014, we grow and we develop together. The coming 10 years, from 2014 to 2024, what should we do together to achieve the transformation for the new decade? A little bit about what is happening in the industry. To talk about industry, sometimes we got confused which industry we're talking about, because it seems our industry is also transforming at the crossroad, which might cover much bigger spectrum of industry we understand. First is about the consumer itself. As Mr. Ahmed has mentioned, that we call it Generation C, because previously we always use the word digital migrants, digital native, and Generation C is, in our eyes, the one who start getting connected to this world even in his or her mom's womb. Taking myself as example, I just had a first baby who's 3 months old. But me and my wife keep using this mobile internet throughout the time of pregnancy. So internet Generation C will have a totally different requirement. And especially one unique feature is that will be the generation which people are much more diversified. It's no longer like a simple way of conveying the message, simple way of influencing them. They will have much more independent personalities. This is what is happening on the consumer side. Two is what happening on technology side. We've seen the mainly 8 areas of technology evolution, which is going to dramatically change the world. Start from materials. We mentioned about the nanotechnology, quantum communications, to the, let's say, artificial intelligence. Taking one small example of the automobile industry. Before Tesla was coming out, what we were thinking is still that the Mercedes and BMW will always take lead, will always have extended innovation rather than disruptive innovation. But these 8 areas, what we've seen is where the disruptive technology and the innovations are going to come from. This is how, in our eyes, the technology evolution. Third thing, which is more important thing, we've seen the ICT is going to change every single industry. maybe in future there will be no industry which is called IT, because every industry is be IT-ized. I give you one small example. Yesterday, I will not mention the name, but I'm meeting one executive in the oil and petroleum industry, the biggest oil production company. I will not mention the name. So he's telling me, look, I don't want to live with my legacy technology, but I want the latest technology for the video surveillance, for my productivity, and for my pipe. I wanted the easy command and control, push-to-talk system with the video-enabled functionality. I want the video surveillance wherever I have. And I don't want to operate this network. So he's basically telling me that you as technology owner, you should consolidate the industry for someone to be able to provide for me what we use the word ELT solutions. So as I said, technology, ICT is going to change every single industry. And our industry is called ICT, right? We use the word Industry 4.0, intelligence terminals. Everything is connected, big data and right algorithm. Finally, we are a little bit conservative compared to Mr. Ahmed's number, because China has a birth control policy. We are targeting by 10 years later, the planet will have around 6.5 billion people. So we were thinking the 6.5 billion connectivities, but they will have 8.5 billion smartphones. More importantly, 100 billion connections. On the content side, first, digital media. I think the time when we are working with Etisalat, we said this system should definitely support full HD. But three years after commercial launch of this full HD system, now if we go to buy a TV, it seems everybody is shy that if their TV doesn't support 4K. So digital media is going to change from 4K to 16K to 32K, which is our lab is studying, and to the multi-dimension at the end of the day. Cloud services. It's a surprise to us when Amazon, which is a bookseller, was able to transform to AWS, the world's largest cloud service provider. We were seeing $1.5 trillion business on the cloud services, which is going to touch upon in the recent future. Three, more important thing is vertical solutions. The oil company I mentioned is a small example, but as I said, the vertical solutions, especially the B2B business, give us unlimited imagination. That's why I'm saying telecom industry is facing the opportunities which can never imagine. But Charles Dickens used the word, it is the best time, it is the worst time. So the challenges we are going to face is also unique. One is the customer experience. The customer experience, the definition of customer experience no longer what we used to think. I come from the radio frequency background, so when we talk about customer experience, I always come up with a cost setup, a successful ratio, job call ratio, etc. But now, the ubiquitous ultra broadband coverage is only the basic requirement. The more important thing is consistent experience, zero waiting. Finally, everybody wants their experience to be like internet companies. Two is the new business ecosystem. As Mr. Ahmed mentioned, when the OTT start rising, we are in the regulated in the business and regulated very much. And OTT is coming up with a total, almost non-regulated business. So in future, the whole ecosystem will always cross over, and someone will touch someone's cake, which is previously assuming out of your industry. So the different regulation, the open ecosystem, and the cross-industry competition. All these are the challenges we are going to address. We are going to need to address. And as I said again, Huawei, especially in Middle East regions, the people sitting in this room are mainly the people who make Huawei able to survive, made Huawei able to grow, and today make Huawei able to be in top 2 of the globe. And there's one thing we will never change. Every year, 10 to 12% of the revenue should come to the R&D. We will never change. This year, it's nearly around $5 billion, which I checked, bigger than Honeywell, bigger than, I think, 4 times bigger than HP even. So with this $5 billion investment, how we are going to support the telco partners with us to face the future, grab the opportunities, and to be the real ICT leader. This is the question we need to answer together with our partners. So now I'm going to briefly introduce our strategy and our initiatives. Our vision is to build a better connected world. So better connected world, first, the planet has to be connected. Second, drive the customer experience along with partners. So in the end, the most important thing, to be the best partner of operators' digital transformation. These are the 3 main important strategies our company is targeting. As I said, the 12% of revenue, the investment of R&D will always go around these 3 perspectives. Then I touch upon the 2 most important parts. One is how to address customer experience for the coming 10 years. 2 is how to really transform instead of using it as a word. First, to define what is the customer experience. We summarize the word called roads. Real time, easy to understand, on demand, or online. More important thing is DIY. I don't know how many people have bought the book from Amazon. DIY is you can always packaging and bundling your book selection with yourself. 5 is social. All the experience have to have the social part in it. That's why the SNS is, I'll give you one small example. When we talk about WeChat, I think most of the people heard about WeChat, right? WeChat pushed a game called Hitting the Airplanes. It's a very easy game with almost 0 design of graphics. But they become 400 million people are playing the same game at the same time. You know why? Because you always want to beat your friend in terms of the scores. So all the services has to be real-time, on-demand, or online, DIY, and social. This is how we define the customer experience. How to achieve that? What is the problem we have? Network. People will never be satisfied with the network. Digital product. From our side, it's definitely insufficient. Innovation. Today, when we talk about innovation, let's be transparent. When we talk about innovation, the idea from the leaders will always consolidate to our RFP, then the SOC and the commercial negotiation, then implementation, acceptance, and push to the market. Not driven really by the customer. It's still driven by our internal processes. Customer engagement model, still more or less on the call center based. Today, when we talk about we are going to provide the all-online digital service, but the core of that business supporting system is still call center based. User data, unfortunately today, there are only very few operators who are really able to monetize the user data. A number is called 70% of that has failed. So the task of Huawei is definitely the ultra broadband is always the key. That's why in 5G era, we become the leader member in the different international organizations in terms of 5G standardization. 2, new concept of customer experience. 3 is smartphone penetration. The reason we enter into smartphone business is because we want more subscribers to be enjoying the real broadband services. And without noticing that, now even in Middle East, we have 11% market share on smartphones. Videos reshape industry, especially through the M2M and IoT. One thing I didn't highlight before, 5G, in our eyes, is not only about bigger bandwidth, but also the easy utilization of all possible frequency. And the third thing is the machine-to-machine platform. If you talk about today, there are mainly two protocol standard we are talking about in terms of M2M. One is ZigBee, one is 6LoWPAN. But these two of them has nothing to do with our industry. We believe with our evolving from radio technology, it will be the best platform for the machine-to-machine to have the imagination, possibility of imagination. So faster and better broadband. As I said, we are going to support 4K in this region together with our partner. Big data. As I said, 70% of big data projects are failed in our industry. Why? The thought process is different. For the internet company, when they are trying to monetize the data, they always first think about the business value. Then they will think about how to utilize the data. That's why all of them are good at algorithm. For us, we will always start with what data we have in our hand, then think about how we can create value based upon this data. Without changing this mindset, we've seen it's going to be still a big challenge to really talk about monetization. So now come up as what I mentioned about what we are investing. Back in 2012, we've decided the softcom is our key word, especially leveraging the network functionality, virtualization, and SDN to transform our operation model to a IT company rather than a traditional CT company. But looking into future, 5 to 10 years, we are going to start from the material like graphene, silicon photonics, to the new technology, 5G mobile, or optical, and the computing capability, because we believe that's one of the key as well, high throughput computing. That's where we are doing. This is the first part about the customer experience. Second part, which personally I think it's much more important, is transformation of operation model. I think back in 2009, end of 2009, Huawei decided, okay, with the foundation of our ICT capability, we will expand to 3 business groups: carrier, enterprise, and consumers. Then we faced such a dramatic issue, especially in consumer business, because all of us are coming from the school mind about providing the solutions, especially providing base station to telcos. When we talk about consumers, our process, our talent, even the strategy even the mindset from the management is so hard to change. I give you one small example. One of the executives who's passing by Dubai, I took him to my office. Then when we opened the door of our reception area, there are around 20 girls, more than 1.75 meters, standing there. My boss asked me, "Shi, what you are doing? You know, why you bring so many models in our office?" I said, "Boss, we are in consumer business. We cannot always wear ties and sit These are the people we are going to train for the road show in. So this is one small example. So for us, agile organization and the talent are always the key challenge. I believe the transformation for telco, to some extent, you are going to face much more difficulties than us, because on average, we are a 31-year-old company, which is still young. I'm the old guy in the company. It's so difficult for us to transform. So the mindset from number one, the right organization process and the right people, right enablement will always be the key. What we did, we said, okay, this centralized government's model will not work. We are going to we created a concept called the squad leader fight. We are trying to push the authorization and delegation as much as we can to the front line. For example, carrier, enterprise, and consumer, you have the authorization, you make a decision, and we just evaluated you at the end of the day, the numbers. That helped us in terms of fighting on the top level. That helped us to be agile on the branch, on the end cell. Two is where we should start in terms of transformation. We've seen the mainly 4 areas. One is network functionality virtualization, because let me give you one example. Today, we have most organizations, we have one person managing the technology. We have one person managing IT. So what NFV is, it's in future, the whole core network is only a software, a disk even. We have a standardized hardware, which is storage, server storage computing cloud. We have a standardized operating system, whether it's from the VMware or OpenStack. IMS, EPC is only a software, only an application. Use our own word. Previously, when we talk about the core network, we are selling everything in one box. In future, IMS is only an Angry Bird, is only a small application. That's what NFV is going to give us. And now, globally, we are, I think especially in Europe, all the European global operators, they chose us to be working with them on NFV, at least start from the core network. I hope we can work more on this side. But it gives us a topic to debate. So we have a CTO managing core, we have a CIO managing IT. After NFV, everything is IT, how we are going to match our organization with this. 2 is the BSS transformation. As I said, today, whatever we say to be an internet company, our BSS is still surviving on the traditional call center-based customer front. We need to really make it to be automated, let the customer make their own decision, let them customer feeling about the provision of our service, as simple as provision the service from Amazon. 3 is the IT infrastructure transformation. 4 is providing cloud service. These are the technology transformation mainly we are thinking about. Of course, as I said, it will always linked with the organization process and the whole culture. The operation model, we have summarized a word called Marcos. It's a Spanish word. I will think about the Arabic word for that. Manageable and open ecosystem, which we always believe we can do everything ourselves. This needs to change. Automation. Instead of every service to be going through a long process, it can be automated. Resource on demand. Give you a small example. We are talking about when people watch YouTube, and if they are facing a buffering, we can push a service for them to allow to active a service to have a better experience. Even such a simple concept we've been discussing for almost 4 years. Self-service management, offer boundary should be linked with automation and centralized government. This is our operational model. Our key task, first, we are focusing what we call the telco OS. Telco OS, the purpose is to manage our whole infrastructure, being it's IT or CT, to be agile enough, support our vision. Two is telco digital operation model is we are launching a new frame called the Business Enabling System, which will allow the operators to manage their business as simple as the internet companies. Third one is IT transformation, and fourth one is public cloud, hybrid cloud services. These are our key tasks. Now, I will not talk all of them. I will mention two of them, key two of them. One is transforming from network asset-centric to customer asset-centric. We should always remember the most important asset we have is our people, not how many base stations, how many cloud computing capabilities. That's why we think we call the telco OS, including the infrastructure enabling solution, business enabling solution, as well as the SDN NFV based ICT infrastructure. This will allow us to have the edge to deal with our customers as simple as Google or Amazon or Alibaba or WeChat. Two is different telco operation models. As I said, the BES, digital experience, flexible aggregation, to be a real platform and automatic provision. When we talk about the BES idea with different customers, they will always say, what you are saying is a good idea, but first, whatever I have, my current process, my current organization, you should map it. So without really changing what we have right now, we can never be ready for tomorrow. If we cannot, somebody else might be. So the business enabling system has to think purely from internet company rather than the evolved innovation from our currently what we have. Third one is how to accelerate IT transformation. We face the same problem. When we are thinking the WeChat is a very good platform, we said, let's make a Huawei WeChat for our own employee. Then we go to IPD process. Every new version will wait for half a year to 1 year. And nobody is happy about that. The other day, we shared a story about Xiaomi. I think most of you heard about Xiaomi, right? Xiaomi can make their smartphone operation system every week a new version. And what they do is every Friday, they issue a new release of their smartphone OS. Saturday and Sunday make people to test and feedback. On Monday, they are going to analyze the requirement. Tuesday and Thursday is the time for development. Thursday, the evening of Thursday, they will do the test. Friday, they will issue again the new version. So maybe the first version is shit, but if you can improve every week, with time goes on, it can be different. So the IT transformation, the key is to forget about our current process to really have a quick new version every week. I'm sure. Maybe we'll make a mistake. Maybe one day we will break all what we have, even from the architecture level, to start with new. But 2-3 years later, the customer experience will be totally different. Sorry, did I take too much time? The battery went out. The last one. Enable ICT transformation for all industries. This might be much easier than we think. We were thinking to provide solutions to other industry. We are not even good at our consumer business, right? We might not be good at selling the bandwidth. But the small example I give to you. First, if we have a unified standard for the machine-to-machine, which can come from our industry, as I said, we acquired a company from Cambridge called Neo. They were the pioneer on the M2M technology. We are going to, end of next year, we are going to build their M2M module inside our base station, which will give all of you a place of imagination together that our current radio network can cover the M2M requirement. We have the right foundation already. So how we are going to utilize this M2M possibility to provide the real vertical solutions. I share with you one number. Industrial M2M requires a high requirement on real time. And the easiest and the best industry to start with is oil and petroleum industry. And sitting in Middle East, if oil and petroleum industry is going to change, and we can provide M2M for them, what does it mean? Not even mentioning we always want to be a leader on smart city. Our region always want to be the leader in smart city. So the endless possibility will be discussed maybe next year, because I asked Tony, I want to give people this presentation after coffee break. He insists before coffee break. I hope I didn't take too much of your time. Thank you so much.